What up, fellas? It's another episode of Cook Like a Man, and today I want to show you something that most of you think you can't make, and I bet you can. We're making pasta, flour, and eggs. Let me show you just how easy it is to make your own pasta. Go in with a bit of Tipo 00 flour, make a well, and crack in some eggs. Now the ratio is simple, 100 grams of flour to 1 egg. And then you start to work it together and you got to get stuck in there. If you've got a stand mixer, man, it's going to save you a lot of time. I'm just putting in the work. Okay, so now we know the basics of how to make your own pasta dough. It's really simple. I think that there's a place and a time for it. I'm not saying that you guys should be making pasta every night when you want to have pasta. Store-bought pasta is great. But when you want to maybe impress, to say, hey, I made you some fresh homemade pasta, that's a go-to. With the pasta, what you should also be thinking about is what are you going to serve it with, right? So it needs a sauce. I'm going to show you my go-to tomato sauce that I make at home for a lot of different things, whether it's melanzane. If you don't know what that is, go and check out the channel, it's on there. Whether it's a pizza topping or whether it's a good pasta or a bake. It's a good tomato sauce. It's a go-to. It's really simple. In a pan with a little bit of olive oil. Into the pan with a little bit of chopped garlic and some chilies. Whether it's fresh or dry, it doesn't really matter. Whatever you've got around. In with tinned tomatoes, and we're going to start making this beautiful sauce now. It's really going to come to life. Turn down the heat a bit. We just want to have a gentle simmer going on. Tomato sauce is really all about just letting it cook. We're going to go in with chopped oregano, salt and pepper. And then when you're cooking with tomatoes, always try and counter the acidity of the tomatoes with a little bit of sugar. So we go in with some sugar. And then another element of sweetness, I don't know if it's a typical thing to do, but we absolutely love doing it, is to add a little bit of balsamic vinegar. It adds sweetness and it also kind of just adds that little bit of acidity. Bring that all together. Great. Now we let that cook. We let that cook for 15 to 20 minutes. Let it simmer. The longer you let it go, the more flavor just starts to develop. So that tomato sauce is going to do its thing. Whilst that's doing its thing, I want to show you how to do another pasta sauce. It is a sauce. It is also a delicious thing to put in between bread. It's also a great dip. It's a basil pesto. Basil pesto, all you need is a couple of ingredients. If you have a blender, you pop in a little bit of pine nuts into the blender. You go in with a good handful of basil, olive oil, chopped garlic, some seasoning, some salts, and then Parmesan cheese. And we go. Okay, my homies, it's time to roll out the pasta. Now we're going to do a little bit of flour onto a surface. Get your hands ready to rock and roll. I'm going to cut this dough in half. And it's beautiful. You can see it's really easy to work with. Half again. Okay, put that aside. If you do have a damp cloth, put a damp cloth over here. And what you want to do now is just to start get it flat with the palm of your hands. If you've got a roller, you use a roller, but if you don't, then you can just find something like a bottle of wine or a bottle of ginger. All right, so wine bottles, rollers, stand mixers are better. Now we're good. A lot of effort, but that's kind of what we're looking for, that consistency. And now we're just going to, I'm just going to neaten it up. And then with your knife, cut those edges off, and then about 1 centimeter. And then once you're done, you get this. Bit of salt, always good. Now, great thing about fresh pasta is that it cooks real quick. So in we go. That will cook in 2 to 3 minutes. Okay, it's plate up. If you're making like a full portion for a lot of people, you just take the pasta, fold it through the sauce. I'm just doing it for one, and with a good helping of this Beautiful pesto. And we just fold that through. Okay, finish off with a crackle of black pepper. Garnish a little bit of fresh oregano and a little bit of basil. Can finish it off with a nice glug of olive oil, but it's really up to you. That's good, that's easy, that's impressive, that's clean, that's cooked like a man.